Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 2 in the series between Yumiko and WFZ. Game 1, a real back and forth fight on Ancient Isle. We now move into game number 2 in the series, as I just have high hopes for this very long series. Yumiko speed building, and now building a Mountain King. Rather unorthodox. We'll see what's going to be happening there, as the Mountain King is already out on the field. He's going to be going ahead and trying to militia creep out this 5-3-3 creep camp, and this is not your traditional build at all. Mountain King gets a Stormbolt off onto the Acolyte. Acolyte will end up getting taken down, and with that, the Mountain King will in fact get to level 2. Death Knight, however, now coming over, and the Death Knight is waiting to perhaps steal a little bit of experience as well. Alright, not gonna happen. Mountain King gets to level 2 without a problem. He did use a second Stormbolt though, and I really think he should have just Stormbolted the Death Knight, as the Death Knight would then not have been able to get the Death Coil off. Militia, now peasants, walking back home. Death Knight not really in danger of anything right there, as the Death Knight does just doing a little bit of a dance. We can see inside the base, there's the Arcane Tower to prevent any harassment. There's that final, oh wait, what? A cancellation of that farm. That means ghouls and even the Death Knight can make its way inside. I'm not sure what exactly Yumiko is planning to do at this stage in the game, but he is rather well defended. Let's take a look. Back over here, the Death Knight with skeletal minions now making a move forward. Meanwhile, Halls of the Dead is being upgraded, and we are just training up Crypt Fiends already. Perhaps a little... actually, no, that Halls of the Dead is still rather early, and the skeletal minions are just wandering around, not doing much of anything. I'm not sure if WFZ has a plan. He seems rather confused now, and with the number of units that are currently out on the field, the Mountain King could in fact get a Stormbolt surround onto that Death Knight and force a Scroll of Town portal. This game may end up finishing before it really gets started, as the Mountain King now chasing after all of these units. Alright, let's come back down over here. Halls of the Dead. About 2/3 of the way done. We may be looking at another panda once more, and we are looking at militia being called over to clear out this position here. One skeletal minion is in position. Alright, gonna aggro the creeps and make it a little bit more difficult for the militia to try and get in a position before they engage against this creep camp. Mountain King is sitting at level 2. Death Knight still dancing around at level 1. He's not getting very much out of his early harassment, but it is causing a little bit of delay as he's buying time for his tech. Death Knight still wandering back down. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? No, we are not, as the Crypt Fiends may try and creep out this no Warden, no Overseer creep camp. Death Knight still sitting at level 1. Mountain King sitting at level 2. I believe will get to level 3 or just be a little bit shy. About, what, 16 experience shy, as he jumps up to 390 maximum mana. Very, very nice. All it's going to take him is 1 or 2 more kills on a couple of creep camps to get to level 3 and grab that 3 or 225 hit point Stormbolt. Rather effective there, as you can see the ghouls now trying to back off. They absorbed a bit of damage, but now they need to regroup and reconsider their efforts, as the Death Knight should be coming in with the Death Coil here to try and save all of these, save some damage on these units. Death Knight getting to level 2. Mountain King, it gets to level 3, I believe, yes, and picks up a Staff of Teleportation. Death Knight now wandering. You can see the Null Brutes off over here. The Death Knight not investing his time very well at all. Back inside the base, a Lich has been picked up. There is the Slaughterhouse. No quick tech to tier 3 this time. And that is perhaps a very different strategy than what we saw in game number 1. You can see that the expansion is all the way across the map, with Scout Towers already being placed down. And what is happening here? A couple of low hit point footmen just hanging out in the woods, waiting to see what when the Arcane Vault will be up to try and do a bit of regeneration. Skeletal minions also here to go after these low hit point peasants. It looks like one, if not two of these peasants will get taken down. One more shot. Oh no, wow. The timed life on them just perfect as the Mountain King now comes nearby. All right, Frost Armor onto the Crypt Fiends to try and buy a little bit of extra damage as the Lich may be in trouble. There is Frost Armor again, and the Frost Armor actually is an interesting choice. The Frost Armor not only adds 3 armor, which is an additional 15% damage mitigation, it also effectively slows the overall damage since all melee attackers are slowed as well. So that's one of the things that you just cannot overstate enough, as the Mountain King sitting at level 3, and we've still yet to see any tech to tier 2. I believe I got confused earlier thinking the Mountain King was the second hero. No, that was the primary hero. We're still waiting for some sort of tech to tier 2, and without the Archmage to lead the army, that means that we are most likely not going to see that many casters. Skeletal minions taken down one at a time. There it goes. Mountain King still sitting at level 3, has a Staff of Teleportation, may try and teleport in momentarily as the Death Knight is at level 3 and the Lich is at level 1. Alright, this base off on the top right hand side of the map, I don't know if the base has really paid for itself as of yet. That is a lot of guard towers, arcane towers, and scout towers just to reinforce this location. Death Knight does have Robe of Magi. Lich is still sitting at level 1, and we may be looking at a bit of a fight here. Alright, it looks like the guard tower is just finished in time. Are we going to see Frost Armor onto that Crypt Fiend? No Frost Armor, even though it would give an additional +3. That is a big surprise there. Death Knight does come in with a Death Coil, and yeah, we should really be looking at Frost Armor here. Not quite sure why we are not. Alright, Arcane Tower now onto that Lich. Lich needs to back off. As you can see, the ghouls are going after some of those units. Alright, let's take a look. Meat Wagon joining in on the fight. And this is actually similar to Ted's Undead push at Tier 2 from World Cyber Games 2014. This is not your typical strategy, and with the Meat Wagon there, oh, Death Knight, Death Coil, there it goes. It does come in for a little bit of a save. No Burrow, though, on the Crypt Fiend, as the Meat Wagon is going to be the main target. If the Meat Wagon can stay alive, there's a Scroll of Protection coming down. Skeletal minions are now trying to fight back. Ghouls are getting taken down pretty regularly here, as there is not much left. All the footmen with the Fen. You can see another footman here. There's a Death Coil to try and save it. There's a Stormbolt to try and kill it. Did not work out, and there goes another Crypt Fiend. This is not turning into a very good battle at all for WFZ. Yumiko with the Scroll of Protection, that additional armor really causing problems as the Meat Wagon tries to find some free targets. Oh, the Death Knight finding himself in the worst spot, getting stunned right next to some doodads on the map, making that surround that much easier. Alright, Arcane Vault going to be taking a bit of damage. Skeletal minions now making their way over as the footmen need to back off. They realize that they cannot survive a fight against the main army, as the Lich is very close to level 2. Alright, where is the Meat Wagon, and is it going to be able to take down some of these all-important buildings? The Town Hall is suffering a bit of damage, but I think if you splash damage right here, that is still the better call, as it does end up dealing damage to those peasants. Alright, not going to see that anytime soon, as the Arcane Tower, or the guard towers in the back, are not within range. Death Knight ventures forward, gets in a quick Death Coil, and now more peasants are being brought over to try and save it. Guard tower is still right there. Meanwhile, Mountain King comes in with a whole sea of footmen. That is a lot of spirit towers right now, and you can take a look. This is just not looking very good. A whole bunch of spirit towers, no Nerubian towers, as the Crypt Fiends now finally brought over. There's a Stormbolt onto an Acolyte, as the towers are just going to start to eat away at this army. Scroll of Town Portal now being brought over, and the main Town Hall of Yumiko has gone down. We now see a fight straight up on all of these footmen. Mountain King has nowhere to go. No Scroll of Town Portal, never mind, Scroll of Town Portal here in order to get away. Will he be doing exactly that? He's losing a lot of footmen fighting in a fight that he really doesn't have to be in. He's even in terms of gold mine, and now training up of more acolytes here, sitting at 14 or 48 over 60, and it's almost better that he doesn't have more than 50 supply, as that is actually going to prevent him from getting any more prevent him from getting gold. All right, Lich now being brought over. You can see a town hall being reconstructed. That is always an expensive build if you're reconstructing one of your town halls. And if the obsidian statues and the meat wagons are brought in time and destroy it once more, Yumiko is going to end up spending a lot more gold building a building that he loses in just a matter of seconds. Crypt Fiends now being brought over. You can see that the Arcane Tower dealing damage back over here. The meat wagons need to get protected, and that is the huge part. Lich should really be Frost Novaing that meat wagon. We're not seeing that, or sorry, Frost Armor that meat wagon. We're not seeing that. Instead, finally getting it down and getting a beautiful Death Coil auto attack from the Lich to really cause more problems. All right, there you go. There goes another footman. All the footmen are now marching back once more. Meat wagons being brought over to try and take down this town hall. Town hall now under massive renovations once more, as the Lich, the Death Knight, just sit back, relax, and are enjoying this bombardment. Skeletal minions keeping track of where these footmen are, and this death and the Mountain King. Mountain King now being brought over. Are we going to see a bit of an engagement? Yes, we are. You can see there is a Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight, beautifully played, purposely trying to leave behind a couple of skeletal minions in order to squeeze out, and he does exactly that. There's a Stormbolt, and I don't know if the Death Knight will be able to get away. Gets to level 4, and with that little bit of extra experience, or little bit of extra hit points, is now fine. One meat wagon has been taken down, but the damage being dealt to Yumiko's army may be irreparable, as all of a sudden, irreparable? Is that even a word? As all of a sudden, things are looking rather risky. Out comes the Blood Mage. Blood Mage now using the mana battery strategy to get the Mountain King. Oh, a beautiful Stormbolt onto a burrowing Crypt Fiend, as the Crypt Fiend unable to get away. Blood Mage still does not have any experience on the board. Blood Mage needs to get some mana from some of the other units here, perhaps the Obsidian Statue or even the Lich. All right, Meat Wagon now trying to get away, and is the Blood Mage Mountain King going to turn things around and be the last-minute savior of Yumiko again? This is just an absolute wrecking or unheard of battle so far, as there is a dust of appearance, and all of a sudden the burrowed Crypt Fiend, who thought he was safe, now needs to try and get away. All right, Blood Mage cannot afford to get taken down. Blood Mage gets taken down. A new meat wagon arrives to the party, and we are now looking at a Mountain King with only a potion of mana to try and finish off the rest of the army. All right, Mountain King unable to Stormbolt a mechanical unit. And let's take a look. Altar of Kings now getting quickly damaged. It needs to get taken down before the Blood Mage comes back out. There's a whole bunch of Frost Armor onto that meat wagon to try and save it, as the Mountain King tries to get away once more. All right, Lich does not even get the Death Coil off in town. Yumiko calls out GG, and WFZ takes game 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.